Hello and welcome to the Pitch and Moan podcast, the show where we take a theme and turn it into an idea. I'm Luke. Joining me this week is Helen.
Just Helen. Hello.
Yeah, no Aiden this week. He's shopping with tortoise shit. So this episode we're going to be pitching a TV show, just sort of generically any TV show. Before we get to that, Helen, what have you done for the past, well, you've been off for, I guess, 4 weeks now, haven't you?
4 weeks?
4 or 3, whatever it is. Yeah, because we do it in the 2-week stint, and then...
Yeah, I wasn't even sure if it was on this week. I thought, I'll wait, I might get a message, and then I'll know, so, yeah. I went to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I tried every ride there. I was trying to get that horrible feeling that you get in your stomach, and I found out that that horrible feeling is your organs moving around while you're on the ride.
Yeah.
So next time you're on a ride, just picture that and it'll make it worse. And then this week, my sister had a house party, and it went a bit tits up. 2 girls passed out.
Yeah.
One girl, they dragged her into the bath, and she just started making these horrible screeching noises. So one of her other friends starts getting out the Bible verses on her phone and reciting the Bible, and then my sister with the Bluetooth speaker starts playing the Exorcist theme tune on full blast. And she's still just screeching, and her other friend's just like writing Jesus on her arm with her finger.
What the fuck?
It kept me up until 4 or 5 in the morning. I did not sleep.
Yeah, no shit, if you've got a fucking exorcism going on in your house, it's not going to be a quiet thing.
All it was the girl just drank a whole bottle of vodka to herself without mixing it, and she just got in proper state, but it was just funny. Just reacting
Jesus Christ.
Exorcism in the bathroom. Anyway, those are the highlights of my 4 weeks, so not much has gone on. Yeah, what have you been doing? How's your...
We went to somewhere last weekend with Ed and Megan. It was I think it's Devil's Bridge or something like that. Just a big bridge. What the fuck was that?
I put my glass down and just clanged it on other.
Yeah, we went for a sort of a picnic kind of thing. It was good. It's not much to talk about with it.
Where was the picnic?
It's at Devil's Bridge. It's somewhere in Ingleton or something like that. It's a bridge where all these like bikers turn up and stuff like that, and just gather, I guess.
Why is it called Devil's Bridge?
I don't know. It's a big bridge, but there's nothing satanic about it.
Right, I'm googling it. 1 minute, because there might actually be some weird devil.
Like fucking pentagrams all screwed into it.
Why is it called that? I want to know. A village. I don't know if I've got the right one. You check that.
There's 2. There's one in Wales, and there's this one that we went to.
What if they just throw people off the bridge?
Well, Nicole said they used to just get people jumping off. No, I don't think it's this one. This is the one in Wales, I think. It's somewhere near the lakes.
Is that the bridge's official name?
Apparently so, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it's called it, but yeah, just people just jump off and shit.
And live or die?
Live. But
okay.
There's a guy there sitting on the rocks when we were there, who just sat on his own. Drinking beers, and every so often he just turned around to us and asked us a question, like, you know, just what time is it, stuff like that. And he just went, have people jumped off there? And Nicole went, yeah, I think so, they used to do, I don't know if they do today. I went, do they die when they do it? Or do they you know, float and shit like that? It's like, well, it depends how deep it is. I might do it later.
Did he do it?
I don't know, we left not long after that, but he just kept going after beer after beer after beer, so he might have done, but we kept saying he's probably going to hit the rocks if he did.
Yeah, he would have died.
Yeah.
But so I'm sure if you haven't heard out of him now, he's alive probably. Anyway.
Yeah, it'll be in the news or something. So we did that. That's like the only thing we've really done. Nicole had a stretching, kicking course thing on the Saturday in Manchester, so I went to that as well. No, that's really it. I've got films though that I've watched.
Yes.
I've got a new segment. I don't know if you listened to the last episode, but I've got a new segment called Luke's Film Report, and I've got Fitz to make as a jingle for it.
Oh my god, I gotta listen to that.
You're gonna like this.
Film. Film
That was something else.
It's good with that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what I've got here, I've got 3 films that I've watched over the past 2 weeks. So I'll go through them quickly. The first one we went through, we mentioned back when we did the video game podcast, we talked briefly about Resident Evil and Warcraft. Yeah. I got around to watching the latest Resident Evil and Warcraft, obviously.
Yeah.
So my quick sort of thing on that. The new Resident Evil, which is, I guess, the last Resident Evil, because they're rebooting it again. They're doing it. Remember when we said they should do it more close to the video games?
Yeah.
I think they're actually finally doing that, and they've got James Wan directing it whenever that comes out.
I'll watch that.
That'll be good, hopefully. But as for the new one, there's nothing to say really about it. It's the same as all the other ones. You know, it's that sort of goofy, over-the-top sort of action film kind of thing. It's not the worst one going out of all the Resident Evils, but I mean, none of them are good.
None of them.
No.
I've not seen. It must have been a really old one that I saw because I was only a kid.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched any of them since that.
Well,
so
I like the first one because there's a bit where she kicks a rubber dog. That's pretty funny. But this one, it tries to go back to what the first film was like because it's all set in. The summary for the film is the evil sort of computer hologram from the first film's like says to Mila Jovovich or whatever she's called. She says, "You basically got to go back here and find the cure." I'm sure. Aren't all the films supposed to be about her finding a cure though? Surely that's the gist of it.
This is why they need to follow the actual game story.
Yeah.
Then they might actually get a good film.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't know at what point, because the first one's sort of like a general sort of mutant zombie kind of film. You've got a bit of a weird monsters in it. But for the most part, it's kind of simple in its premise. But at some point, we've got to a stage where now there's in this film, she fights a giant mutant dragon sort of thing. There's dogs and stuff like that. And then there's like clones and shit. And everyone's being cloned and everyone's like a cyborg or something. So...
Is there robots in the game? I don't remember there being cyborgs.
I don't know, but it's kind of like... What I attribute it to is... The Resident Evil films, they're sort of like playground rules whenever you're like a kid, where it's kind of like, right, now I've got superpowers, now you can't kill me because I'm a clone, now I can do super martial arts, now I can jump really high. It's someone's just making it up as they go along. Now there's a dragon.
They're trying to get everything in there that everybody likes.
Yeah, it's like, what do people like? Superheroes, let's give her powers now and she can see into the future. Maybe she's psychic, I don't know. But the problem with it is, if I was a kid watching these films, I'd think they're really cool because it's just, everything's in it. It's got zombies, it's got dragons and shit like that.
It's got dragons?
Yeah, that's what the new one has. It's like, I don't know how it works because the whole sort of point of Resident Evil is there's a virus that's infected people.
Yeah.
And it's turned them into zombies.
Yeah, it's just a mutation.
Yeah, so at what point does someone turn into a big fucking winged dragon? But it's got like a human face as well, so I don't know what it is.
Oh, I think I know what you're on about. Is that not in the game?
It might be. I know there's a big whale in the game, but that makes sense because that's a whale that's been infected. I don't know where the dragons come from.
I want to play one of the games again.
Yeah.
But I prefer playing it with somebody because there's always 2 characters on screen. So if you go on with a friend, they can play it as well, and it just makes it much easier.
Yeah, me and Nicole did. I think is it Resident Evil 6? That's what it was like that.
Yeah. I tried. Yeah. I think I tried. Oh no, you didn't have gold.
We didn't have live at the time.
I was gonna join your game and try and play it. I can't play it on solo. Oh shit.
No, it's pretty fun. We did. Their parents were away, and we sort of set the Xbox up downstairs, and we went through. I think we nearly completed the level. Just had like a couple left, but we got bored of it towards the end. But they're pretty good, the games, because you do all the puzzle solving shit as well, and you've got to like. There's those bits as well where because it's co-op, you do. One person has to like climb over a ledge and then do a bunch of shit, and then the other person just holds the ground until they open a gate. So that's pretty good.
Oh, I think is that the? Are you on about the multiplayer bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, where one of you's the beast and the other 2 are just running around. Well, other 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played that. That's pretty good.
Oh no, I'm on about when it's the 2-player ones. You do things where it's like you come up to a gate, but only one of you can.
Oh yeah, and the other one has to run round and.
Yeah.
fight things while the other one. Yeah, I know what you're on about. Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
And there's also those tokens around the map that you have to shoot.
Yeah.
And
I'll sort of like
get
Nicole to do all that, 'cause she knows what she's looking up for all that sort of stuff.
I get my friend to do that. I'm a bit of a lazy
Yeah,
bitch when it comes to games.
I'm just in there just to shoot zombies and run. But what I was saying, the thing with the Resident Evil films is, if I was a kid, I'd really enjoy these films because they've got everything in them. But because they're horror films, no kids are going to watch this, and no adult's going to watch it because they're fucking dumb. It's like, at least with the Fast and Furious sort of films, they're whatever rated, like PG or 12 or something, so they're stupid, but kids can watch them in a way. But no kids are watching the Resident Evils, and no adults are watching it, so it's about time they rebooted it.
Yeah, just stick to the game, and you'll get more fans even watching it as well.
Yeah.
And you'll just get people who love zombie films and apocalyptic kind of films going to see it as well, which is quite a big crowd of people, thanks to The Walking Dead and all that. It's grown an audience.
Do you think we're getting too much apocalypse shit?
Not as much as there used to be. It seems to be more of medieval because of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they've got King Arthur that's just come out, haven't they?
Yeah, they seem to be going on that route now, because it used to be vampires thanks to Twilight, and then it was zombies, and now it seems to be medieval stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I think anyway.
They're always after something, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it's funny how they tried to do westerns a couple of years back. There was like 3 that came out in the same year, weren't there? There was Magnificent Seven, that Tarantino one, and I think there was another one that came out.
Yeah. Then... Oh, no, they're trying to do it again, I think, with Westworld. They're bringing back... because that used to be a film or something, didn't it? And they're making it into a TV series.
Apparently the TV series is quite good. I need to get into that at some point.
I've downloaded it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. I'll start watching it, 'cause I've not got much to do now.
Yeah, give me a heads up, 'cause it's got Anthony Hopkins in as well. He's like one of the main guys or something.
Yeah. I think... Have you heard of the old one? Because I haven't watched that one either.
Yeah, the old one, it's got one of the main guys from... I think it's the old Magnificent Seven in it. I need to get into that at some point, but it's basically, it's the same kind of thing. I don't know if... Because Westworld, I think it's like a theme park or something, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's robots, and then the robots start to...
yeah.
Well, they
some of them go rogue or something.
Yeah, some of them can recollect memories from the previous day, and, well, they have developed feelings or whatever, and emotions.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a sequel to the film, but... No, I know of the original one.
It sounds really good, though, the concept of it. I watched it.
Yeah. The other film that I watched was Warcraft, which again we sort of briefly talked about. I'm no interested in World of Warcraft or anything like that. I don't really do medieval shit.
No, I don't really play that.
But in fairness, I actually really enjoyed this one. It's sort of like the basic plot for it is it's orcs and humans don't get along, and the orcs live in this one world where they're ruled by this evil hooded guy called fucking Gargamel or something. I can't remember. And they've destroyed their own world, so they use this weird green magic to get to the human world, and they want to take over that. And one of the orcs is like, maybe we shouldn't do this, so then that kind of sets it off. So that's the basic plot without going into spoilers and shit like that. But it's not a bad film, in fairness.
So is it sticking to the game? I haven't played it. Have you not played it either?
No, I've not played the game. I think it does. I thought in the game you get more races than just orcs and humans, but
yeah, I thought it'd be something like a side quest thing, so you'd have to keep doing loads of little quests to get to understand the story.
Yeah, there's the thing with it is what it suffers from is, firstly, like all fantasy films, it's the names that I can't really get on board with.
Oh,
because I have no idea what any of the characters' names were in the film, except for the villain, because they say it over and over again, but again, I can't remember that now. I'll just call him Gargamel from Smurfs.
You just know from their faces.
Yeah, that's the thing, but with the orcs as well, you can sort of tell which ones are the ones you know, but then they all kind of look the same as well, so...
Yeah, it's kind of like when they do a film with animals, and all the animals look the same.
Yeah.
And you're not sure who the hell it is until they say the name.
Yeah. Well, the orc side of the story, because they sort of split it up into, you follow the orcs for a bit, then you follow the humans for a bit, and then the two stories sort of clash, because they have to fight each other. And the orc side's pretty good. It's all like, you've got this guy who's now got a kid, and the kid gets corrupted by this green magic, and they, like I said, they want to take over the human world, but there's this one guy who's like, this guy's like no good, we've got to stop the villain. So then this one orc sort of teams up with the humans, or tries to, but it doesn't go so well. But the human side of the story, it's not as good. It's sort of like they stumble upon this green magic and all these dead humans, and then they're like, right, we need to fight these orcs now. And the actors are a bit shitty for it as well.
Whose side are you meant to be on?
That's the thing, you're sort of on both sides, because you follow... The orcs are clearly the villains, but you've got this one orc who's good, who wants to like help his other orcs. So you sort of follow him. He's played by one of the guys from Planet of the Apes.
Right, okay, yeah.
So it's pretty good motion capture. But I think you're supposed to follow the humans. But the worst bit with the human side of it is you mainly follow this knight and this sort of whatever apprentice mage kind of guy. And you can clearly, with the mage, firstly he's really annoying because he's like the only American accented person in the film, which is off-putting when everyone else is doing like a sort of old-timey British accent.
Yeah.
So he's really annoying because he's kind of like the comic relief sort of thing, but his story arc is he's a practicing magician or wizard or whatever you call him, warlock, and he meets the master warlock, and the master warlock's all like, oh, you think you can take over my job? You're not going to take over my job. And that's his story arc. He takes over the fucking job. So you can see what's going to happen with his sort of story. And as for the night guy's pretty good when he's doing serious moments, but then for no reason towards the end of the film he starts like throwing a load of jokes in whilst he's battling, and it's really off-putting because none of the jokes are funny. They're just like wisecracks. Yeah, they're like wisecracks, and it's like at no other point in the film is he making jokes except for this one little bit at the end where he does like loads in one scene.
What was the makeup like? Was it CGI mostly, or did they actually do any
It was mixed. There's one woman in it who the humans sort of capture, who's I don't know if she's half orc or something like that, but they put her in like orc makeup, and she just looks like a woman covered in dirt with like big teeth. So it's not the greatest design, but the CGI is pretty good because it's sort of like, it doesn't look realistic. You can sort of tell that they're really cartoony. It's just like a realistic version of Shrek, that kind of. So
it's got its own style. It's supposed to look a bit cartoonish.
Yeah, it looks like the trailers for the game, but a bit more polished.
Oh, they've done it so it's still got that gamey element to it. Alright.
Yeah, it's like they're with the orcs, the build for it is like small heads but like massive bodies and that sort of stuff, and like big hands and shit like that. So it looks, for that reason, it looks pretty good because, like I said, you can tell it's cartoony, but in this world that they've sort of made for it, it fits really well because everything else is quite cartoony.
Yeah, I wonder what someone that religiously plays the game thinks of the film.
I've looked at some of the reviews. I think they're mixed towards it because it's sort of like, I think it might have been hated by critics but then loved by fans. But that's one of the things that it does quite well as well. Aside from the fact that I don't remember any of the characters' names, me as someone who knows nothing about World of Warcraft, I got the story. It's a simple story to get.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd rather impress the fans of the game than really care what a critic thinks.
Yeah.
Because, you want to keep it to its original story.
Yeah.
And do it justice.
I think the fight scenes work quite well as well because it's sort of like, it's not they're not violent or anything like that. Like there's not a lot of blood and whatever, but you do get like orcs just smashing into humans with like a giant club, and like it's almost like if there was blood it would have been a higher rating, but because there's not blood, they get away with it.
Yeah, you can do that. You can get away with that though, because they do it in Narnia, the kids movie, when they're battling. All you see is people flung across the room, not room, you know what I mean, battlefield, and you don't see their limbs fly off or any blood, so they get away with it.
Yeah, it's like they throw horses and shit like that, so it's pretty funny, the fights. It's kind of like when they did the Wolverine film, where it's like, I think when they released it in the cinemas, it was a 12, but then they did an R-rated version on DVD, and all they did was just add CGI blood to it. So that's the only difference between it. And then the last film that I watched, but I'll go back to that. Warcraft is a good film. It's worth watching. It's fine anyway. So the last film that I watched was The Nice Guys with Gerard Butler and Ryan Gosling. That's a good one.
I haven't heard of that. Is that a recent movie?
It's do you know have you seen Lethal Weapon or Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
No.
All right. Well, they're sort of like, they're kind of like buddy cop films, but they're more sort of murder mystery kind of detective kind of stuff. And that's what this film's sort of like the same as, but it's set in the 70s instead. So Gerard Butler plays a private eye who's also like an enforcer. He goes around beating people up. And then Ryan Gosling's an alcoholic detective, but he's not very good at it. And they sort of have to team up to solve the murder of this porn star and this missing girl or something like that. And that's pretty good. It
sounds like all cop movies. They always have a new guy and then they team up and then they do well. Or has it got a bit more to that?
It's sort of got more to it because it's directed by Shane Black, who, like I said, he did Lethal Weapon and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and both of those films I really enjoyed because he's really good at doing humour between two characters, where it's like they bicker and they argue and that sort of stuff. And I enjoy watching stuff like that. And the film's got a lot of that. And if you had to watch it, I'd say avoid watching the trailer, because we watched it first to sort of see what it were, because all I'd heard is good reviews about it. And then the trailer sort of, it spoils a lot of the jokes. There's a bit where they find like a dead body, and they're like, right, we've got to get rid of it. So they throw it over a fence, but there's like a Mexican family having a meal on like a table over the fence. So it just smashes into the table, so they have to leg it. But that's worth watching. That's really funny.
So is it a thriller with a bit of humour? Action, should I say?
Sort of. It's not like an intense thriller kind of thing. It's really fun. Like a buddy cop sort of thing. So, for example, Ryan Gosling's got a daughter, and because he's an alcoholic and he's a detective, he just gets his daughter involved in everything. So she accidentally stumbles into this porn star party, where he just sort of like, he sends her on, but then she turns back, and she's just sort of hanging out with like porn stars and stuff, whilst he's trying to solve his case and getting drunk.
I might actually, let me write that down.
It is good. I think you'd enjoy it.
Nice Guy.
Yeah, The Nice Guys. It came out last year, I think. I'd seen the posters for it, but that's about it. Like I said, all I'd heard is apparently everyone said it's quite good, but I had no idea what it were about.
I'll check that out. Usually, when I see stuff like that, I just glance it over and never give it a second thought. Yeah,
well, that's what I did, but we were just after watching something, and all the suggestions that we were coming up with were a bit crap. We've still not finished this Assassin's Creed yet. We just can't be bothered going back to it.
Ugh, I'm not gonna bother.
No, it's not good.
I've been watching all the... Do you know when there's those crappy movies on Netflix or Sky Movies?
Yeah.
Movies that don't even make it to the cinema. I've been watching them.
Which sort of ones have you been watching?
The other day I watched one called Chastity Bites, and it's about a woman. It's about a teacher, and she's new to the school, and she creates a group of young girls and says, it's like a virginity club, and they call it the Vag Club. I forgot what it stands for. I think I don't know. It's an acronym for something.
Right.
And all it is she's creating a cult of young girls, so she can pick out 5 of them. Was it 5? Something like that. And then take them to her house to kill them, drain them of the blood, so she can use them as anti-aging products or whatever. It's been around for hundreds of years. It's a bit of a weird film.
Yeah.
It's cheaply made, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
I like watching the ones that when you look at the films that sort of come out and the ones that are getting the good reviews, they're mainly all like the superhero ones, which are fine, but
Yeah,
they're kind of all the same.
I am very bored of them now. Cause,
Yeah.
In 2004, there weren't that many superhero films, so I used to get excited when another one was going to come out.
Yeah.
But now it's just every year, like two times a year. I'd
Yeah.
say. Too much.
For me, I've started counting how much I'm going to end up spending at the cinema based on how many films are coming out. But I've like started watching the ones that sort of don't quite make the cut, the ones that are not really well received, but they're okay apparently.
Yeah.
So we watched ones like that Legend of Tarzan. That's pretty good. That Hercules film with the Rock in it. That's all right. And just looking at those sort of films, the ones that are like the ones that Netflix are really proud that they have because they can't get anything better.
Yeah, there's a lot of films that don't make it into the cinema anymore, and you end up just finding them on Netflix or
Yeah.
Sky Movies that I've been using.
Yeah.
It's weird, because I remember if a film came out, it would definitely be in the cinema, and obviously if it was unknown, it would go straight to the DVD.
Yeah.
But it seems that more movies are going on Netflix rather than going in the cinema.
Yeah. Well, they do their own films now as well, don't they?
Yeah, they must save money as well by not putting it to the big screen.
Yeah.
Plus, when you stream it, you can stream it to more people, and they can save money, so they don't have to fork out and go to the cinema. I
Yeah.
think that's what's going to happen. It's all just going to be online, and you have to rent movies.
That's it. The thing with that is it works fine, except for the fact that, I mean, at least over here, I think in other countries like America, I think it's different. I think Netflix has like a much wider range. But with us, we've got to get, if we want to watch certain films or TV shows, we've got to subscribe to like 5 different services just to get the ones that you're after.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is shit.
That's why people put in American postcodes to get American Netflix.
Yeah. I think they've stopped doing that now. I think they've clamped on it.
That's annoying. They should
'cause
do
we
a
were gonna do
separate
that.
service. Or they could
It's-
do a little extension. No,
Yeah.
that's it. Or just sort it out and give us the American shows.
Yeah. I mean, it's shit because you've got to get. I think when we worked it out of what we were gonna get, like a subscription sort of service, it was between like Netflix and Now TV and Amazon Prime and all this sort of shit. And it was like we had to go through all these different services just to get all the shows that we actually watch.
I used to use Now TV because they had a 3-month gift card for it.
Yeah.
That was alright. I
Yeah.
quite enjoyed using that. But they took down shows very
Yeah.
fast.
That's something I hate about
That's-
Netflix.
Yeah.
They've
they
just
should
started.
keep it up.
I've just started watching Community, and that was on Netflix for years, whatever, maybe 2 years or something. And just as we were about to start watching it, I went on Netflix and they've taken it off. If you're buying a fucking service like that, why are they taking things off it? It doesn't make sense. They should just keep adding stuff. They shouldn't take it off.
Unless they have a license.
Yeah, well that'll be the thing. That they'll license out certain films. That's why whenever you go to look for like a trilogy of films, they've only got like 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they're never the first one either.
Yeah. There isn't, is there? On Sky Movies, they have all the Friday the 13th, but they don't have the first one. They have the new first one, but they don't have the old one.
It's the same with Netflix. They've got like Friday the 13th, Part 4, 6 and 7 or something like that.
Yeah, they don't have the first one, and I really want to watch that one, so I've had to skip.
The first 2 are really good of the Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think I've watched one of the later ones with that kid that's in the Goonies.
Oh yeah,
Corey, is he called Corey or something?
Corey Feldman.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
That's the one I've seen. And then the newish one.
Yeah.
New one.
I don't like the new one.
No, I didn't either. I just
The
remember
one where he's got like those tunnels underground.
Yeah, and there's that girl that because she looks like his mum.
Yeah.
Is that what the old one's like, or have they completely changed it?
Well, the first one, the main sort of twist with that is you don't see who the killer is, and it's the only one where it's Jason isn't the killer.
Yeah.
So that one's quite good. But then the second one, sort of when it becomes the franchise that it is, it's the one where Jason is the killer, and he's got like a duffel bag sort of thing on his head instead of the hockey mask, and it's like a basic sort of slasher film. It's sort of as whatever you call it, untainted as the franchise goes. It's sort of like the main one, and then as they go on, they get goofier and gorier and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. They've just started out, so they won't have as much gore.
Yeah, the first two are really sort of simple premises. Your first film's like a whodunit kind of thing, and then your second one is like the start of the slasher stuff before they just went overboard with it. Right, do you want to start with your pitch?
My pitch. Okay, mine's the sloppiest one yet. I know I say that every week, but this one is the sloppiest one yet. It is
Sloppy
just a spider
pitch.
diagram with TV show ideas in the middle, and then we've got first strand, first spider leg, porn stars. Don't know where I was going with that, but it's on there. Second leg, sports channel dedicated to drunk people playing sports and other games. Bowling, darts, pool, poker.
Yeah.
And I thought the poker one we could put them with real money so that they can regret losing all their money the next day. Thought
So
would
that
be
one
really
is
interesting.
it's like a sports show, like
Yeah.
a whatever you call it, like a Sky Sports kind of thing with
Yeah, and
commentary or whatever.
you'll get some guys commentating over it.
But
while
it's
these
but they're drunk.
people- Yeah. And
Fair
you can
enough.
place bets on who will win. So it'll be live.
That's pretty good.
And then we've got... Oh, this one's like my old idea. Or, it's a bit like... No, I don't know if it's copying or not, so I'll just read it out. These are just little ideas.
Go on.
Following around Z-list actors or has-beens in a documentary. Them trying to get back into the business, like the promo of Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. Do you remember the... Have you seen Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I've seen a couple of them.
There's the episode 0. Do you know when they don't show it? I don't know if they do show it or not.
I've not seen it, but I know what you mean when they do one of them.
Yeah, it was kind of a bit of a documentary, but it wasn't real, so it was a mockumentary. Should have just said mockumentary. And it was Larry David trying to get back into stand-up again after 20 years or something.
Oh yeah, I think I have seen that actually.
Yeah. A bit like that.
Yeah.
So, but real, not a mockumentary.
Yeah. Have you seen Life's Too Short?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. That's sort of a
Like
similar
that.
thing.
But it's too similar to your idea, so I just read them out anyway. But yeah, that's it, innit? I've not really got much. I've just got a list of some TV shows that I've been watching.
Yeah. Well, that's something we didn't really talk about. We'll sort of interject that in here. What TV shows are you watching?
I just watched that show that everyone was talking about. Usually when people are raving about a show, I'll just watch it and think, is it really what they say it is?
Yeah.
So I watched 13 Reasons Why, that was on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it or Nicole.
No, I've heard the name, but I don't know what it's about.
Oh, it's about a girl. I don't really want to give too much away because it's quite new and people might not have seen it. But I'll just. It's about a girl that's committed suicide and she's left 13 tapes behind, and she wants them to be passed around to each person that is on the tapes, and apparently they're one of the factors why she's killed herself. So they've got to just follow round, and they're all freaking out because they're scared the tapes are going to be passed around to everyone in the school and they'll know and they'll get the blame and whatever. But yeah, that is...
Is it any good?
It's okay. It drags out way too long.
How long's the episodes? Is it like a 13 series one, or is it...
It's a 13 episodes. They've dragged it out just to fit the title.
Yeah.
It could have been so much shorter than what it was, so probably half that.
There's a lot of Netflix ones that are 13 episodes long. We watch all the the Marvel ones, like Daredevil and your Iron Fist and stuff like that. And for the most part, a couple of those series are really good. But then by the time you get to like episode 7, between 7 and maybe 12 or something like that, they just drag it out really slowly so they can fill up the rest of the episodes.
Yeah, it's annoying. It just gets boring.
Yeah.
Because there's the main guy, you follow this one guy around that was your friend. This is the main guy. As he listens to the tapes, he listens to them one day at a time, and it just drags out, and you're thinking, just hurry up and get to your part of the tape, which is the last one. No, it's not, it's the second to last tape, so it's episode 12, I think, or 11, something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They always sort of start really strong, but then it's the sort of towards the end where they always drag. I think that's where Netflix struggles.
Yeah, you've really got to stick around for the good parts, which is usually the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. It's like with Luke Cage. The first couple of episodes are kind of fresh. They're all sort of unique. But then there's a point where he gets shot, and then because he's bulletproof, he can't get the bullet out. And they must spend maybe 4 or 5 episodes trying to get this bullet out. And by the time they finally do it, it's the end of the show.
It's really anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It's annoying. But the last episode's quite good because you get to see her. I know this is really grim to say, but you actually see her kill herself, and it's quite gruesome. Actually shows it.
Fair enough. What she do? How's it done?
How was it done? Oh, she gets in the bath and just slits her wrists, but she proper digs it in. And they're gonna make a 2nd season. I don't know how they're gonna do that because the girl killed herself, and she was narrating the whole thing. I should have said that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was narrating the whole season, and it just makes me wonder how they're gonna make a season 2 if she's dead. And don't know.
I suppose they could follow someone else, but then you'd also have the same sort of setup, I guess. You'd have to have like the tapes kind of thing.
True. Yeah, because they finished the tapes. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. But I think they're gonna do something with it because there's a guy that gets bullied in the show, and I think they're gonna turn him into a school shooter.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be it.
What else are you on with? Do you still watch American Horror Story?
Oh, is it back on?
I don't know. Is it still going?
I don't know. I quit with it 'cause I haven't seen the one with the cabin or anything.
I've not watched any of them yet. I really want to get into them because I like all the horror sort of stuff, but it's starting a new TV show. I just can't be arsed with it.
The older ones, I really enjoy the older ones, but as time goes on, it just gets shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I've been watching The Office on and off.
Which one do you watch? Do you watch the UK one or the US one?
I've been watching the US one, but then I'm going to watch the UK one.
I was going to watch the US one, but the first couple seasons it's the same as the UK version, but like they do the same sort of plot points.
I don't know which one I'm going to like better. Probably the UK one.
Yeah, I really like the UK version.
I'll probably recognise the people in it and probably enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Then there's I've just started Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And I like that. I really like the humour in that. So I'll keep watching that.
With Curb Your Enthusiasm, I've watched a couple of the episodes, like if they're on TV, and I like watching them that way, but I tried watching it from episode 1 and I couldn't really get into it.
Oh right, so you can just randomly watch them?
Yeah, we watched, I like the one with the... Have you seen the one with the shirt yet?
No, I've only just watched the first one, which is the one where he takes his wife's, I don't know if it's his wife, whatever, wife's friend to the cinema, and his pants turn into a bit of a tent and it looks like he's got a boner. Is it improv, most of it, as well?
I imagine most of it is, because he's quite funny as Larry David.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that and watch out for that, because I like it when shows do that. Anyway, that's it for me.
Alright, I've got loads of TV shows that I watch. I'd struggle keeping up with them all. There's fucking too much going on.
There is too much. I feel lazy for not watching films everybody's watched. So I just don't watch them at all. So people will say, have you seen this movie? And I'll just say no.
Yeah.
I usually don't.
I'm not too bad with the movies because I sort of keep up with them, but with the TV shows, it's sort of like, because everyone's got a show that they follow, and everyone sort of follows sort of your basic shows. Like everyone's watched Breaking Bad. I've not watched Breaking Bad yet, but everyone's watched Breaking Bad, you know, House of Cards, Game of Thrones, and you've got to keep up with all these ones to talk to people about them.
And there's so many.
Yeah.
There's hours.
It's like essential viewing kind of thing. It's like it's almost like news, when one of these episodes come out. So I keep up with Game of Thrones, but I don't watch the other ones. Walking Dead I watch, but that's a fucking chore to get through.
Yeah, I've managed to keep up with that and Game of Thrones, but that is it for me.
Yeah.
I'm a bit crap when it comes to watching TV shows. People are like, watch this, and you feel dumb for not watching it because you can't pick up on references that everybody knows.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with me for Game of Thrones. I don't pay attention to what the characters' names are. It's again the medieval thing where they've all got weird names. I know who most of them are now. Like, I know who the Starks are. I know who most of the Lannisters are, that sort of thing. But all the other sort of families, I don't know where half of the places on that map are called because I don't pay attention. Except for Winterfell, I know that. It's sort of like, at least there's the actors. You can follow the actors. You know what they look like. And then with Walking Dead, they have a good final episode, a decent first episode, and then the rest of it's just fucking boring.
The in-between bits where they keep talking about having a fight.
Yeah.
And then that's it for one season, and then they finally get to a fight right at the end of another season.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they did for one of them, didn't it? It was,
yeah.
I think for season 4, they spent an entire time looking for Terminus, and then they found it at the end. I might be wrong, I don't know which season it were. But they finally found it at the end, and then you don't actually see a payoff of what happens there until the next season.
It winds me up.
Yeah.
But I'm still a sheep that will sit there and watch it all.
Yeah, because if you don't watch it, you feel like you're gonna miss something.
I really like the villain at the moment, so I'm loving The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I have actually. Even though the past season has done that same thing where they talk about it and then never do anything, I have enjoyed watching the last season because of Negan.
Yeah, it's been my favourite season. He's been my favourite villain.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to die because he's just that good.
I think he's contracted on for another couple of seasons. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. But at the same time, I think when you read stuff like that, it kind of ruins your anticipation for the show because you know that he's probably going to stick around for a bit. You know that he's not going to die.
Yeah, I had a feeling he would because people are really liking him.
Yeah.
And I think he gets away in the comics, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I'm not up to that bit in the comics.
I think that's one of the things why Game of Thrones works better than Walking Dead, because with Game of Thrones, they aren't afraid to kill off characters and do it violently, stuff like that, whereas with Walking Dead, you know at this point that you know who's going to survive no matter what, and they always kill off the side characters.
Yeah, I think they're scared that if they kill off a fan favourite, they're going to lose a big chunk of fans that watch it, because they've not really got much more than likeable characters.
Well, that's the main thing with Daryl, isn't it? Everyone's like...
yeah, people watch it for him.
If they kill off Daryl, they're going to stop watching it. So they can't win.
No, whereas Game of Thrones, they've got that strong storyline, because it's from a book. Well, Walking Dead's a book as well, isn't it? But he doesn't give a fuck about killing off characters.
Yeah.
It doesn't get attached to them.
That's the sort of mentality they need to have with Walking Dead.
Yeah, I think they need to have that with a lot of shows.
Yeah. There's a bunch of other ones that I watch over the time, and like I said, there's too much to go on, because I mainly watch anything that's either superheroes or comics, and at the moment there's like fucking maybe 30 shows or something like that fits into that. So I used to watch like Arrow and The Flash, but I've dropped those off because they're really repetitive. It's the same thing every episode. And ones like Gotham and stuff like that.
Oh,
I need to get back into at some point, but they're all the same.
They are. That's why I've kind of given up on superhero stuff.
Yeah. I'll tell you what you might enjoy, what I think's really good. Preacher. That's
yeah, I've downloaded it, but I just haven't watched it yet.
That's really good. It's takes a while to get into, but it's sort of the pilot episode for it's not great. It sort of just sets up the characters and gets you introduced to them. But by the end of it, it's like a really sort of it's more of a jokey kind of show. It's not to be taken seriously at all.
It doesn't take itself seriously.
No, that's the best bit with it. Like towards the end, Preacher's just like having pancakes with like homeless people, and just because he's the worst sort of preacher going, he's always drinking and smoking and swearing and that sort of stuff and fighting. And they've all got really good like comedic chemistry, all the characters.
I'll look forward to watching that then, because I have to be in the mood for certain shows.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what kind of show it was, so I've just kind of left it and not watched it.
Yeah, no, I'd give Preacher a go. I got Nicole on it first, and she tried the first couple of episodes but didn't like it, so I made her watch maybe the first 3 or 4 or something, and then by the end of it, because you get used to those characters and the style of humour, it gets really good at that point.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the same with most TV shows. If you force your way through a couple of episodes, it's really good after that.
Yeah, you gotta force yourself to sit through hours of a show just to start to like it. It's a bit shit, but
it's like Parks and Rec, isn't it? You force your way through season 1 and then season 2's alright.
I've managed to start sitting down and watching that again, but because I left it for so long, I didn't even know where I was, so I've ended up watching a whole season that I've already seen.
Yeah. Which season are you up to on it?
I think I'm on season 5 now.
Yeah. I think you're
Finally.
I think at season 4 it starts going downhill.
Yeah.
I remember.
It's a bit boring.
Yeah, it gets... The last season's one of the worst ones, and it's sort of... As you watch the last season, you kind of miss the first one where it weren't that good. I think it's kind of worse than the first season, because it's all set in, like, the future.
I've been spreading it out for so many years now.
Yeah. I mean, you got me into it. You've got the first couple on DVD.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons.
Yeah. But what's funny is you got me onto it, and then I got Aiden onto it, then he finished it before me, and then I finished it before you.
And I'm still on it. I'm just doing it really slowly, as if I'm watching it on TV or something.
Yeah. I think that mainly does it for what TV shows I watch. I just watch a bunch of stuff. Like I said, anything that's out I'll try and catch up on, but at the moment I've been binging them rather than watching them weekly. What is your pitch? My pitch. I mentioned this sort of briefly in, I think, the second episode where me and Aiden. It was one where I think it's the first one you missed, but it was me and Aiden did a pitch of Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
And I briefly said that it would work much better as a TV series, because with the comics and the cartoons and that sort of stuff, it's a different villain every week, and the main sort of backstory that you follow is like a soap opera rather than Spider-Man fights a villain, which is what the films all are. So I thought you'd do a Spider-Man TV series with a similar sort of theme to The Flash, because they do, even though it's episodic, it's quite good with the CGI sort of stuff for a TV budget. So you do a similar kind of thing there. You maybe have it like 75% of the show's Peter Parker and friends and the villains sort of doing their thing, and just 25% of it's Spider-Man stuff, because you don't really need him in the show that much, because you've got the characters to rely on. Kind of like the older Incredible Hulk TV series used to do the same. It'd be like the first maybe 3/4 of the show's Bruce Banner, and then the last minute Lou Ferrigno shows up painted all fucking green, smashing shit. So you do it like 30 minutes long or so, 20 episode series, and then I sort of planned it out for sort of 5 series what you can do here. So your first series you introduce like Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy, that sort of stuff, and you just need a basic villain of like Doc Ock, and you do flashbacks to his origin so that you don't tell it again. And then you do like certain characters die in it, like Gwen Stacy's dad will die. You kill off Norman Osborn so then you can bring him back later as like a twist when he becomes the Green Goblin. Then you series 2 you've got Green Goblin for your villain. You introduce like J. Jonah Jameson, you get him working at the Bugle and stuff like that. Maybe kill off Gwen Stacy at that point. Your third season you introduce Venom, and get the first half of the series you do it where Spider-Man's got the black suit and then he passes the suit onto Venom. Because I mean 30 minutes at 20 episodes long, that's a full sort of 10 episodes of Spider-Man and 10 episodes of Venom, whereas the film did it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think it would be better. I think people would enjoy it more than the movies. And you can keep the fan base going for years, because season after season after season.
Your fourth season you do like the Sinister Six and Black Cat and that sort of stuff, and you can keep messing about with these romantic interests, because
you can keep introducing more and more and more villains, characters, everything.
Yeah, because that's one of the things with Spider-Man. To say he's like a geek and that sort of stuff, he goes through like fucking tons of girls. through the years. He's had all sorts of these ones like Mary Jane and fucking Black Cat and all that sort of stuff. And then your final season you introduce Carnage, where you get Venom back, and then you just do the full sort of Maximum Carnage storyline and just get all these characters in like fucking Hobgoblin and Morbius and shit to do it like a team fight kind of thing. But you finish it off after season 5, because then you start scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it goes a bit stale.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like... Obviously, they want to keep doing the films, because the films make money, but DC's got a Flash film coming out, and they've got the TV series, so it's not even a problem. You just have it separate to everything else. But I reckon that'd be a better way to tell the sort of Spider-Man kind of stories than a film does, because you can't do a soap opera film over the course of like 3 films. You can't do a story that way.
Who would you have play Spider-Man?
I don't know, because that's the thing. You'd have to sort of cast someone like unknown and really young to begin with, because this is going to go on for like 5 years, what I've planned. So you can't really have.
Plus, you'd want them to be 18, because
yeah, you need to sort of plan it where they're maybe in their early 20s by 5 years time. So you'd have to cast like a 15-year-old or 16-year-old or something. True. And get them in a contract and lock their soul down.
Yes, destroy them.
Yeah. But that's the thing, I tried to cast it, but you can't really cast it for any characters, because you can't cast anyone big because it's TV, and then you've got to keep them sort of, you've got to think who's going to be not busy for 5 years.
You want someone new and talented.
Yeah, so that's my pitch, just do a Spider-Man show. Because the cartoons are so much better than the films, because, like I said, it follows a lengthy plot. Obviously it's a cartoon, so it's not as, you know, good to watch and stuff like that. But the stories are better there.
Yes, they're doing a new Spider-Man animated series.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's already on now, but
I don't know. I've seen some of the pictures from it in the news or whatever. But I mean, if you think about the film, Spider-Man's one of these characters who's like, he's one of the most popular ones. You've got your Superman and your Batman and your Spider-Man. But when you think of how many good films there are, there's like maybe 2 good films out of 5 or 6 or however many there are so far. So clearly they're not working doing films of them.
I always wonder, how hard is it to make a good movie?
Yeah.
I always wonder that. Every time I watch a new movie, I'll think, what goes through their mind when they're making this, if it's a bad one?
Yeah.
Like, how did this get past to making a movie?
I mean, I've thought about that with the new Batman film they're doing, because they've gone through fucking like maybe 3 or 4 directors. They keep pushing it back because they haven't figured out what story they're going to do. But how fucking hard is it? Anyone can come up with a fucking Batman story. Yeah,
when I was watching Suicide Squad, I was asking myself that. How do you fuck this up?
Yeah.
You've got a comic, follow it.
Yeah.
How is that so hard?
I mean, when you think about it with Suicide Squad, I still remain that the first half of the film is really good until they get to the city, and then it becomes really shit. It becomes Resident Evil. How do you fuck it up? Because it's sort of like, the trailers would imply that the Joker's the main villain, and he's escaped, and you've got to hunt it, you've got to track him down, or something like that. Or Enchantress is the villain,
isn't he
and the
not
Joker's
even
the side
supposed
one.
to be in it? The Joker, he was just supposed to be in Harley's memory. He wasn't
I don't
even
know.
supposed to be in it.
I think they should have kept him in it, but I mean, when you watch those trailers, there's loads of fucking scenes that have been cut out. Like, there's a bit where he's got half his face is blown off and he's throwing a grenade. So I assumed that the plot would be, they have to go get Enchantress, but at the same time, the Joker's loose as well, so they've got to deal with him. And already, that's a better film than what they did.
Yeah, the only thing I liked about it was when they introduced each character.
Yeah.
They had this little neon light and, you know, random. It looked like a music video.
Yeah, that's the bit I like, but at the same time I didn't like the music sort of choices for it, because each of those character introductions is maybe like 3 or 4 minutes long, but they had a different song for each one.
It was weird. It was like a music video. The whole film was like a music video.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with Suicide Squad. They say that the film itself is no good, but all the shit that came out of it, like, they released, like 3 official songs for it, with music videos.
Yeah, the music was good on its own.
Yeah. They did a soundtrack. They've got all the merchandise with all the graffiti shit. The amount of Harley Quinn merchandise and Joker merchandise that's come out of it. Even though it's a no good film, everyone's bought it. That's what they've made the money back on.
The merchandise, yeah. The film was shit. The stuff that came out of it was alright.
Yeah, it's like the film's a giant commercial for all the shit they were selling. I mean, how many people do you suppose have paid money towards DC to buy a Harley Quinn costume from the film?
Very true. Everyone's
That
been
must
doing
have been
that
where
at
they got a
Halloween.
bulk of their money back. I still don't think it's the worst one, but it's just, you can tell at which point it goes shit.
Yeah, they kind of. There's so many things that that didn't need to be wrong.
Yeah.
I think that's why people are annoyed.
I think I know that's the thing. It's what we were saying. It shouldn't be hard to make this film, and yet they wanted to make it edgy and that sort of stuff. They tatted up the Joker and whatever, with all these fucking shit tattoos.
Yeah, it looks like a stripper.
Yeah, there's a podcast that I listen to where it's like they were talking about it when it first came out. And it's like, the thing with the tattoos, they're fine, but they're kind of like sort of PG-13 kind of tattoos and graffiti, that sort of stuff, like I love rap, that kind of stuff.
Love hate.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like fucking El Barto.
Like those tattoos you get in those candy sticks boxes.
Yeah. No fear.
No fear, did you say?
Yeah. It's that sort of shit. It's not. It's trying to be edgy, but it doesn't work with this fucking calligraphy tattoo on his forehead.
There was a bit that just made me cringe, I guess the word, when he just puts his hand over his mouth with that.
Oh yeah.
And he starts laughing. No,
what the fuck is that about?
Please stop.
Because you can watch this film as well, and you tell what the director's thinking really good. It's not, what if he puts his hand on his mouth and his hand's the laughter? That'd be well good. No, it's not. It's fucking terrible.
Oh god.
You can see all these ideas that his hand thinks, oh, this will be really good, and they're not.
And do they not try this stuff before they film it? A
You'd
bit like
think so.
rehearsing a play.
I think we mentioned before, what they should do is they should release these things to the public and be like, what do you think of this? Do you think this is a good idea? And that way they can be safe, that way they can be like, no, that's fucking horrible. They should put like a poll out, should we put tattoos on the Joker? No! Alright, we won't do it then.
Just release polls.
Yeah.
Images, but not too much, because you don't want to give away video clips that give away scenes for a story.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to tell the story, but you just say, should we do this? Should we put a big fucking giant smile on his hand, and when he covers his mouth he laughs with it? No, don't do it.
No! Just
I think me and Aidan were on
that came
about
up
it.
as red on my audio then. Fuck's sake.
I think me and Aidan were on about it with the new Spider-Man one, because we were on about the trailer and it's just, he's got so many fucking gadgets going on. The latest trailer they brought out, he's got a parachute in his back, his suit speaks to him,
I saw it.
he's got the fucking drone thing on his chest.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
It seems like an okay Spider-Man as well.
Yeah.
I do like when someone knocks on his door and he does a little flip to the door. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that sort of stuff's fine. It's literally, my problem with it is the costume, because it looks fine, but they've put all these things in, and to me you can sort of tell it's just for the toys.
Yeah, it's like when we were saying, it reminds me of those old toys that had the 500 things going on at once.
Yeah.
So you've got a motorbike, and he's got glowing eyes. And
diving version, karate chop.
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee, I'm sorry, I'm throwing it out there now, I guarantee there's going to be parachute Spider-Man figures, like maybe ones where he actually parachutes like off a kite or something. There's going to be a drone with the Spider-Man thing. What else did he make? I can't remember, but there's going to be just a horde of shit like that.
There is. Just
I'm calling it
all
now.
those random other things as well. They do random quad bikes, motorbikes, helicopters.
I saw one once. I think one of the funniest ones I've seen is it's the Flash on a motorbike.
What the fuck? They don't think, do they? Sometimes.
No.
I don't think the people that make them understand. Sometimes they have no idea.
Oh well. I think that sort of covers us for the episode. Go on,
yeah, it does. Yeah.
We sort of glossed over more stuff there and just bragged on Suicide Squad, but that's fine. We don't like it. It's a shit film. It's a half shit film.
It's fine. Nobody does like it.
No. So if you want to reach the show, you can reach us at pitchamonpod@gmail.com. We're on Facebook and I was going to say Twitter, but we're not on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're about. You can find us. I don't have to baby step you through how to find it.
Yeah,
we're all on the
internet.
internet.
We come up.
Yeah. Maybe we don't. In fact,
You know what? Let's try that. I'm gonna type us in on Google. Okay.
you check that and I'll check this a second, because there's a thing on the Podomatic page that we've got.
Oh, we come up straight away.
When you look on our Podomatic, we're on like a chart sort of thing, where apparently we're currently number 4,651 in comedy.
Wow. That's
And we're
fast.
going up apparently. We've got the podcast that's behind us is called Swan Helm's podcast.
Have you listened to it?
No, and the one in front of us is called the Mid Ranges podcast. I've
Here's
clicked
some
on one of them.
homework. Go and listen to the people below us, and then listen to some above us.
We should start a war with one of them. Just give them some shit.
We'll start some beef, and then maybe we'll go up a bit.
Yeah.
Start beef with other podcasts.
I mean, that's the thing. I clicked on one of them the other day, and they had no podcasts even uploaded, so we can't be doing that good.
Oh my god! Oh well. But
Here's one. The one in front of us has 3 episodes. Something to do with reggae and hi-fis. Fucking hell.
I think we need to do a bit of reggae to get up there.
Yeah.
Pitch Moan and a bit of reggae.
Yeah, I'll stick a reggae sort of theme for the outro music,
Do it.
so that we get boosted in numbers.
Do it. I've googled us. Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I've googled us. The first thing that comes up is Harvard Innovation Labs. Then we have 2 of our episodes
Yeah.
on YouTube, and then we have somebody's Tumblr.
Okay, so don't Google us. Click on the YouTube links. Avoid the Harvard and Tumblr links. Those aren't us.
Unfortunately.
I kind of like the fact that our podcast is pretty shit.
I like being shit.
Yeah, it's charming. I think if we
Yeah.
started getting like ad revenue and shit like that, we'd ruin it.
Podcasts are supposed to be shit and boring.
Yeah.
It's just something you play in the background.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's fine.
Fair enough. And our audio's been mixed at best for every episode.
It's fine.
Yeah. Well, that does it for the old showaroo. You've got the places you can reach us if you want to send us a suggestion of what we can do. Send them there. Anything you want to say, Helen?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Bye.
Quit your bitching, start your pitching. I don't know why we say start your pitching, because it's the end of the fucking episode.
Stop pitching. Fuck off.
Yeah,
Bye.
stop your pitching. Bye.
Bye.